हो गया ठीक है हट जाओ साइड वो मैं लाइव कर दूंगा आ रही है Good evening, everyone. Please confirm the audio and the video once. Great. Hey, Shambhavi, Tanisha. The last stream ended on an unfortunate note, but I hope it is fine. All right. So, because you're in the sessions, I'm assuming that you guys actually want to write cat, isn't it? I can see only Shambhavi and Tanisha right now. I think the team is sending links to other people as well. But without wasting much time, let us try to understand. So today I'll be discussing a lot of things about exam, the XAT exam, that is Xavier's admission test. So the difference of CAT and XAT, because people who kind of write XAT, they are the ones who have written CAT as well. Majorly that happens. Okay, and having said that, somehow I believe that CAT is mother of all the exams. Okay, that is that. But there are certain things which makes that different than CAT, and that is what I'm going to discuss today. Of course, I'll be while discussing the kind of questions that they ask, I'll also be showing you certain questions which are kind of different than CAT. So I hope this is going to be an engaging discussion. Tanisha has a query: should we comment that along with CAT or leave the lectures for later? See, Tanisha, as I told you already, that the three sections which CAT has, they are kind of very much applicable or relevant to XAT as well. So in a way, you're preparing for XAT already. It's just that you'll have to, go through the kind of questions can be different. In Quant specifically, XAT tends to be more difficult. But if you look at the CAT of last year, that was very much similar to the level of XAT. All right. And DI is totally different. And also the decision making, a new section. So a lot of things are there. But by the way, if you prepare for CAT, you're preparing for at least 40% of XAT. So in a way, you're doing that. All right, Tanisha, I hope it solved the query. And after that, you should be going full throttle for specifically XAT. All right. So let's start. How important is that? Of course, it is important. See, XAT is a common gateway, a common test, which is a gateway for different colleges which are related to Xavier's, out of which the best is XLRI, which all of you might be knowing, Xavier's Labor Relations Institute. And XLRI is supposed to be the best HR college. Now, it's not HR. Now they call it PM and IR, okay, Personal Management and Industrial Relations, which is kind of very much similar to HR. And it won't be, a hyperbole or exaggeration if I say that XLRI is actually the best college of HR in not just India, but entire Asia. Entire Asia. All right. The kind of marketing sessions, kind of things that they do over there, it's brilliant because I was not in XLRI, but a lot of my batchmates were there, and they have told me the kind of the culture and the kind of things that they do. It's a very college which very it's kind of very chill atmosphere. So people who want to kind of enjoy with their management degree, they should go to for XLRI. Moreover, if someone wants to be into HR, and the kind of roles that HR has, it's not just HR executive or HR manager. They are entry level roles. But you must have heard about this thing, head of people. Heard that? Not HR head, head of people. So a lot of conglomerates, a lot of organizations, they have this designation called head of people. They are essentially the people who are looking at what all things, because any industry, any company has two kinds of resources. One is human resource, other is non-human resource. All right. For non-human resource can be any idea, it can be a product, it can be the assets of the companies. They are non-human resources. For example, at iQuanta, this the screen that you are seeing, it's a non-human resource. All right. And the camera through which I'm streaming myself, that's a non-human resource. I am a human resource. So these are two things, two resources of any industry, any company, any organization. And if the head of people, the HR people, they are the ones who kind of take care of humans, the human resource. And it's very, very, very important because humans have emotions, humans have sensibilities, they have moods. So like one day you can perform, for example, the screen of mine can perform the same way any time of the year, but probably I cannot, isn't it? Because I'm a human. Probably I might be undergoing some kind of phase of mind, some mental phase, right? So that things can happen, and that is where the HR comes into existence, and that is what their main duty is, to keep the employees, to kind of take care of them, to maintain their mental and physical stability, and also making them that they should not lose their sanity. So all that stuff is comes under HR management, which kind of tells you that what kind of subjects would you going to study for HR. That is, do you understand that? Organizational behavior, OB, we call it OB, organizational behavior. So how? What's the behavior inside an organization? And there are certain subjects of psychology as well, which is not the part of finance MBA, or let's say other kind of MBAs. In HR, it's there. So any one of you who wants to be into this kind of domain, point number one, and someone who loves psychology a lot, who loves talking to people, who understands people, who has this empathy and sympathy kind of things, those are the best suited people for HR roles. Is that clear, everyone? So how many of you, or actually, kind of you feel that you are someone who wants to work with people in close association? I hope a lot of you are there because you're watching this. So I am assuming that you are interested in this XLRI program. Apart from that, there are other colleges also. For example, you have XIM in Bhubaneswar. There are other institutes which also accept the score of XAT, and they have different kind of MBA streams like finance, marketing, etc. Okay, so let's start. Well, so what all things have happened here? First of all, we'll discuss that. All right. So the pattern has somehow changed. How many of you are repeaters? Like you have written CAT XAT earlier as well? Anyone? The pattern has changed a bit. Duration has changed. Earlier it was 210 minutes. 210 minutes, which makes it 3 hours, 3 complete hours, and then 30 minutes more. And now it is 180 minutes. That is only 3 hours. What has happened? Why that has happened? Total number of questions in XAT will be about 95. When I say about 95, no one is sure. That is what, yes, Tanisha, they have it. Well, so about 95, because even XLRI, they want to surprise you with the number of questions. You won't be ready for that. It will be about 95. And I'll give you the exact sectional weightage also. It will be +1 or -1. That is what they have informed out on their website. All right. So time duration of GK section in XAT has been reduced to 10 minutes, with number of questions being decreased to 20, which were earlier 25. So that is how they have done something. Okay. Then comes to GK score. Score from GK section will be exclusively utilized by XLRI Jamshedpur for its final selection process. So that is why I was talking a lot about XLRI, isn't it? The GK score will be utilized here. So the kind of GK questions which might be there will, of course, we'll have a series of sessions after this, and we'll be increasing the frequency, going full throttle after CAT, of course. Okay, so all sorts of things we'll be discussing over there. Then comes analytical essay writing, AEW. This year, AEW will be administered during the group discussion and personal interview GDPI process. So earlier it was essay writing, it was section, with a complete section earlier, but now it is not. Okay, it will be a part of selection process during the GDPI. Is that clear, everyone? Okay. These are basic details. I'll deep dive into them. We have 4 sections, exam duration 180 minutes, that is 3 hours. Number of questions, about 95. Exam board is online. Of course, you know that marking scheme is something, which kind of can confuse a lot of people. +1 for correct. Okay, all right. -0.25 for incorrect answer, which makes it like 1/4, right? -1/4. That means if you mark 4 questions incorrectly, you will get a -1. In CAT, it is 1/3. All of you know that, right? That is the difference. And the kind of very interesting, or I would say, I don't know, uninteresting thing about that is that if you do not attempt any question, of course it's like you get 0 everywhere. But here, if you do not attempt more than 8 questions, -0.1 marks will be deducted for every question. That's a kind of penalty. I'm laughing on it, but actually this should be taken care of. So you need to attempt all the questions. You should not, even if you do not know something, so you should take care of that. You should do not leave more than 8 questions unattempted. All right, Tanisha, Shambhavi, Utkarsh, Yash. Okay, no negative marking GK section. That is also important. So kind of complex structure is there. Coming to the next one, the sections breakup. The part 1, part 2. Part 2 has GK, 10 minutes, about 20 questions. Everything is about, nothing is confirmed. So sections, verbal ability and logical reasoning. In CAT, what happens? It's verbal ability and reading comprehension. You know that. Then we have LRDA, then we have QA. But in this case, VA and LR come under one section. Okay, which will be having about 26 questions. Decision making is a different section altogether. Decision making, like the name suggests, there is some kind of case, some kind of problem statement will be given to you, and you'll have to decide based on your decision making ability. Okay, I'll show you some questions also, don't worry. Be about 21 questions on that. QA and DI, this is one part in which we'll be having about 28 questions, 170 minutes. 10 minutes go here, 170 minutes for this. And there's one thing which is good for us, that you can skip the sections. You can actually skip the sections. All right. In CAT, that doesn't happen. Is that clear? In CAT, you cannot skip the sections. Here you can. Okay. So let us go to the sections one by one. First is VALR. This will encompass critical and analytical reasoning, reading comprehensions, including poems and passages. Now, this is something which is totally weird, isn't it? Nowhere in the other exams, like in CAT, we don't have poems, but here we have poems. It's weird for some, but what do I feel? I feel very happy about it. I'll be discussing one poem also today. And passages, vocabulary, basic English grammar, and other related exercises, such as para jumbles and close tests. All right. This is VALR section. So kind of different. The types of questions are different than CAT. All right. How many of you, by the way, love reading poems? Who loves reading poems? I do. I do. I love writing poems. In fact, today I have taken a poem from Sylvia Plath, if you know her. And after that, there'll be poem-based reading comprehension passages. I'll be discussing. I'll be using different John Keats, Wordsworth, all those people. So we'll be doing that, but we'll be doing it after CAT, because I don't want to dilute your CAT's preparation. Oh, great. Yes. Let's go ahead. And then we have XAT DM section, that is decision making. Okay. So DM section will present scenarios drawn from both personal and professional lives. Candidates will be required to apply critical thinking, problem solving skills, and prioritization to make informed decisions. When they say personal and professional life, so let us try to understand this. Professional life, for example, let's say you are an HR manager, head of people, working in an organization. Let's say you're working in a manufacturing company, which manufactures, let's say, IC circuits, semiconductor chips. Okay, so what happens? You come to a case where a person has been, he met an accident. Okay, and he has lost, let's say, one limb, unfortunately. And now, what needs to be done? Would you fire him? or would you give him some kind of pension sort of scheme which is given government jobs, or would you ask him, okay, that in place of you, we can have some other person from your family, probably your son if you have one, or your daughter, whatever, depending on what kind of work is there. So there can be different kind of scenarios, different options, which you will be feeling that which is one is the best. Will go accordingly. That's a simple decision making case that I discussed with you. All right, that's a professional example. Uh, Personal example can also be there. That from some personal life, you're in some stuck in some kind of problem. Your friend is stuck in some kind of problem, and you're the one whose decision is very much important for him or her, and then to be given options, and that is how we need to discuss. Is that clear? Decision making. It's actually fun, yeah, right? Well, I'll be showing some examples as well. First of all, let's go through it superficially. Then we have QA DI section. QA section primarily formatted around class 10th. That is something which we know. Of course, the reason is very simple, because a lot of people who pursue an MBA, they are the ones who do not necessarily require mathematics in class 12th or graduation, and that is why all the exams like these MBA entrance exams, they have the quant section always around the standard 10th syllabus. Okay, that is a kind of a proper logic which you understand as well. Mathematics, notably, the emphasis is on application-oriented problems. The questions on DI are about clear interpretation, summarization, and insightful analysis of the data. Time and work, percentage, profit loss, equations, number systems, clocks, geometry, algebra, mensuration, Venn diagrams, tables, bar diagrams, all of it. So basically, because it's QA as well as DI, right? It's not just QA, not just DI. So you can see the topics which are a combination or blend of both. All right, let's go ahead. GK section will now comprise 20 questions instead of 25. Section will include 12 questions on current affairs, 8 from static GK, allowing for a balanced evaluation of candidates' awareness of both ongoing events and foundational knowledge. So, tell me in the comments, who invented bicycle? Okay. When did Bangladesh win its independence? Let's see how many of you type it correct. These two questions, okay? Well, and what is the water body in between India and Sri Lanka? Which water body divides India and Sri Lanka? These are static GK questions, which will never change. They're not current affairs. Cool. So tell me in the comments, everyone. Well, now let's go ahead and like we are launching the XAT course next week. It's starting. It will be having the features are as follows. There'll be 300 plus videos on quants and DI, 100 plus sets with video solution on decision making, and for VRC there'll be 100 plus videos, and live class will also be there. These are self-paced program, that you can do it on your own the moment you get enrolled. Here from next week till November, we'll bring last week 2-3 classes, every week 2 hours. From November till XAT, because after CAT, it will be increasing. 3 hours of marathon classes every day, Monday to Saturday. There will be 7 full mock tests, previous year 7 mocks, and 4,000 plus practice questions. There will be bonus like strategy sessions, exam taking sessions, and we also have some people who are, who are in the XLRI, and they will also be talking to you. They'll be mentoring you. An early bird discount will be given to you, which will be, you can use this code and get enrolled at just 8,500. Having said that, now let us go to, let us try to look at some questions. Kanhaiya says 1971, Bangladesh freedom. Date batao, Kanhaiya. Tell me a date. Shamavi, you don't know? No problem. You can Google it out later and then tell me. So let us go to some questions and try to understand that how XAT throws questions at you and what kind of questions would they ask. What do you see in front of you? What's there on the screen? Who is there on the screen? Who's going to tell me? Do you know this lady? Who will tell me? Atish, a creepy face. Oh, seriously. Uh, this lady is Sylvia Plath, a very famous poet. So here we have one poem, which you have to read and then discuss two questions that will follow. So I'm giving you 2 minutes to read the poem, absorb it, and then we'll go to the questions. Done? Great. Let us go to the questions now. Which of the following options best explains the effect of the images in line 1? Let's see who answers that. Line 1. Okay, so I can see a lot of answers. Let's go to the second question. Let's see. What do you feel? All right, let's discuss. I cannot see answer to this question, and I can see here that Atif, Karthik, Samreen, Akshata, Ayush, Kanhaiya have answered. Tanisha, Kshitij, Shambhavi are not answering anything. See again. Okay, cool. Let's see. Tanisha says D and C. Others say CC. Okay. Chalo. So let us, first of all, I'll explain the poem to you and let's see how many of you have felt it will be same kind of explanation. Okay. It starts with black lake, black boat, two black cut paper people. Did you notice that in the first line itself, black has been used thrice? Yes or no? And when you read that, probably some certain things might have come to your mind. Yes or no? So much black. So you must have thought this something ominous, something evil, something sad, bad, dark, death, or whatever, isn't it? You must have felt that. Is that right? Okay. So, and also you'll feel that it's a kind of a natural setting which poet is trying to explain. Black lake, black boat, two black cut paper people. Where do the black trees go that drink here? The shadows must cover Canada. Okay. So what exactly has happened? Do you apart from the things that I told you, there's also one more thing. They are made by paper. They're made by paper. All right. So think about it. This is a question mark, isn't it? It's an interrogative sentence. Where do the black trees go that drink here? So can you imagine that the author was probably standing somewhere in the forest, and in that forest, at some distance, there was some kind of lake, pond, river, brook, any kind of water body, isn't it? Because why would author ask this? And she, Sylvia Plath, must have been seeing it from a distance. That is why everything looked black. Is that right? And shadowy as well. Shadowy. So moment she comes near that water body, she asks, black trees, where are they? Which drink here. So probably from a distance, it might have looked like the trees were inside the water, kind of a straw with through the sip. And when you reach there, you realize, oh, it was tree, isn't it? Like in similar in Hindi शायरी, you must have kind of heard this. दूर से देखा तो ये था, पास से देखा तो कुछ और था, isn't it? Something like that. Well, that was humorous. This is not humorous. This is something which is very dark. But having said that, we get the feeling that the poem is about something dark. And also, this cut paper people can be imaginary, isn't it? We don't know the exact meaning, but that is what we can kind of conclude, infer. Okay. A little light is filtering from the water flowers. So in all of this black, some light is there. In fact, some light has to be there. Otherwise, you won't be able to realize what is black, isn't it? How do you see black? What is black? Absence of light. And how do you find the absence of light? Because there are certain lights which are present, which are coming in through the waves. The leaves not wish us to hurry. Whose water flowers? So basically, uh, uh, somehow that that uh, that scene, it can be a scene of imagination inside the mind of the author Sylvia Plath, and she feels that the flowers are the only thing. The flowers, the small trinkets of light, they are the only things which want us not to hurry, not to come to conclusion. Or probably that is one way of looking at it. The other way is probably she feels that, okay, there is so much solitude, so much depression, sadness, that I cannot go out of it, even if I can see a small light. Clear? The two interpretations. Let's go ahead. Probably we'll get the answer that what the real interpretation is. They are round and flat and full of dark advice. Full of dark advice. That means there was nothing positive. So when I read this, I felt that two interpretations. The moment I reach here, it is only one interpretation, isn't it? It's very much similar to the quadratic equation roots. When we have two roots, one is positive, one is negative, we feel that the moment we read the next line, we understand that no, negative was not possible. It has to be positive only. Is that clear? So I'm telling you a mathematical way of looking at the poetry. Is that clear? That is how you reach the conclusion. And if you understood this part, tell me in some way, not just yes, that this is something which you felt was kind of enlightening. Yes or no? Right? Um, then, cold words shake from the oar. What are oars? Through which you kind of, you navigate or maneuver the boat through water. The spirit of blackness is in us. It is in the fishes. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Cold words shake from the oar. So basically, a person is trying to, kind of maneuver through that dark water, and cold words. So with the moment you look at cold words, there's a kind of personality given to that scene. Personality means there is some person, probably a person, because person can only have words, and their words are cold. The person is in depression, sadness, aloof, solitude. Okay, spirit of blackness is in us. It is in the fishes. So now she feels, the author feels that the blackness is not just inside our mind. It has overgrown everywhere, and now it is in the fishes also, which is of course a kind of imaginary thing. It is not possible to have in the real world, but the author is going deep inside that evil zone, that depression, the state of sadness. There's no way she can come out of it. She's going deeper and deeper and deeper, because now her thought has seeped in through fishes as well. Tanisha, thanks for that. A snag is lifting a valedictory pale hand. What is snag? Snag is basically, if you have seen any kind of river in the mountains or in the forests, so a tree, a branch which hangs through, and kind of it's touching the water. Have you seen that? That's a snag. It can be a tree branch, it can be something hanging and touching the water. That is a snag. And the snag is lifting a valedictory. What is valedictory? That is something, a farewell. A farewell. So, so what is happening here? It's kind of very sad. Something which is touching the water, now it has given up. It has given up and wants to, and it has no strength left. It's lifting up valedictory. That means it is bidding farewell. Now it will be going. It will be gone. A lot of sadness is there. Pale hand, pale hand. And now the author has again, personality to the snag. Snag has been compared with pale hand. And what is pale? What is pale? Pale is kind of, it's used for skin, when all the colors of skin just diffuse and only a bit of yellowish or bluish tinge appears. Pale. It happens when you're frightened, majorly when people are dead. Pale. No energy left. Compared to snag has been compared to a pale hand. Stars opening among the lilies. stars opening among the lilies. Okay, so it's kind of um, the lily, the flower, lily is a is it's always on the water, in the water, right? An aquatic flower. So through the lilies, if someone sees like uh, the snag who is probably now given up, and now it is flowing through the water and is flowing. When it's flowing, you can imagine that, right? I'm using some imagery. Let's say this is the lily flower and this is the water. It's going like this, and a snag has dropped. It's going like this, and snag can see from the lilies that there are stars that are appearing over there. Okay, can you imagine that? And then, are you not blinded by such expressionless sirens? Expressionless. And now, author cannot even see hope and positivity in these stars. The poet cannot see any kind of hope there. This is the silence of abandoned souls. So somehow we get to know that it is this kind of this entire piece of work must have originated from author's her own sadness or depression phase, or might be she must have seen somewhere, or she's just kind of explaining what real depression looks like. Is that cool? Clear? Chalo, let's go to the question. Images in the first line. Image: black lake, black boat, two black cut paper people. First line encapsulates the theme of the poem. Is that so? Not really. Theme of poem is sadness and depression, a lot of other things. It's not encapsulating, it's just giving up, it's just, creating a setting, a visual, an imagery. The images are suffused with an overpowering sense of rebellion. Or rebellion, rebel, or the rebelling, going against, not really. Varsha, yes. Very good, Varsha. It's melancholic, yes. See, the atmosphere indicates a cyclical nature of life and death. Black lake, black boat, two black cut paper people. It's not about the death. We cannot see that. It can come in like in the other stanzas, but not here. Not in the first line. Not really. A lot of you have marked C, and now I feel that a lot of you who marked C want to change their answers, isn't it? D says the black lake the black lake lacks. Whoa, tongue twister. Black lake lacks. Try to do it once. Black lake lacks. Black lake lacks. Do it, and you will feel stuck. Regenerative potential. Black boat connotes the funerary boat. Cut paper people are unreal. Black lake, black boat, two black cut paper people. Best explains. It's not that it's the right interpretation. It is the best interpretation. Okay, out of it. Okay, let's see E also. Repeated use of black is evil. Now this is something which is too direct. Okay, so a lake, and all of you know that somehow the flowing water actually in some customs also you kind of send people away, the spirits away, and also like in Hinduism you kind of send the ashes away in the water. Somehow it will kind of explain, not just Hindus, everywhere, right? Everywhere. It's kind of when spirits are sent away through the water, water is always flowing. It takes things from one place to the other naturally, right? So it is not regenerative, like it just takes away things, nothing comes back. Okay, so this will be the best possible option. And funerary boat, where funeral is happening, cut paper people are unreal. They might be spirits which are trapped inside that setting. Is that cool? Clear? Okay. Next. Which of the following options presents a convincing evaluation of the line stars opening among the lilies? Oh, let's see that. The stars are flowers in the sky, and the flowers in the lake are stars in water. Oh, nice. Stars are flowers in the sky, and flowers in the lake are stars in water. Okay, cool. Let's see. Let's see. Let's. I don't think this will be now a convincing evaluation. Let's read others also. When it says which of the following, we need to read all the options. The ethereal light of the stars gets reflected among the lilies. Reflected among the lilies? Reflected? Or let's read others also. The spirit of blackness does not hinder the appearance of beauty in nature, which is symbolic of hope blossoming in this soul. There's one thing for sure, there is no hope in this poem. Anything positive? Just a minute, just a minute. Yes, the hope was there, but at the very same time, author is not hoping anything, isn't it? It gives you a hope, as I told you, but author is, or as I when I was discussing it, do you realize I was discussing that she has gone into so much depth of sadness that even the stars are not giving her hope. Right? Is that clear? So author is not getting hope, but this was symbolism of hope only. C looks correct to me, but let's read D and E also. Mirror images, worlds are above and overlap, very direct. It has got no philosophical undertone. Lilies purify the dark into light, as symbolized in and by stars. I know. And then E also looks kind of, a far-fetched, nice interpretation, but more than that, C will be the best choice. Clear? राज ब्लैक लेक लैक्स लिखने से नहीं था, बोल के देखना था. बोल पा रहे हो? Is that cool? I hope it's clear to all of you. Nice poem, I must say. Let's go next. This is a question of critical reasoning. I'm giving you 2 minutes. Try to solve it. Why everyone has, some kind of affiliation to option C in all the questions? Did you plan it out? All right, let's discuss. Hmm. How do we choose one discovery over any other? The physician Lewis Thomas made a choice. He bluntly asserts. What is assert when you say something with proper confidence? All right. The greatest of all the accomplishments of 20th century science has been the discovery of human ignorance. Okay. So he believes that the greatest accomplishment is that we realize that we are ignorant, right? Who? Humans. The science writer Timothy Ferris agrees our ignorance, of course, has always been with us and always will be. What is new is our awareness of it, our awakening to its fathomless dimensions. And it is this, more than anything else, that marks the coming of age of our species. Okay? So, ignorance something which was always there. What's new is the acceptance of that ignorance, right? And or getting the enlightenment, the awakening, right? Then, then the author says, the author of this passage says, it is an odd, unsettling thought that the culmination of our greatest century of discovery should be the confirmation of our ignorance. How does the thing come about? All right. Because the greatest century is 20th century, in which we discovered a lot, isn't it? You agree to that? We discovered a lot of things in 20th century. In fact, we went to quantum science, quantum physics, isn't it? We went beyond the dimensions of spirituality and religion, and science was winning everywhere. Is that right? Is that right? So the world was also, a lot of technology was improved. Okay. So the author is posing a question to us that how did this happen? That the greatest thing that in century is like, okay, with the century in which we have discovered a lot, how it does happen that this happened? Because somehow we confirmed to our ignorance. That is what the author is posing a question, isn't it? So now we need to understand, we need to, see that what is the exact what conclusion. Which of the following statements can be the best concluded from the above passage? Best concluded. First, humans progressed because they knew that they knew very little. They knew. This is kind of correct, but this is a very general kind of statement. It is something let's read others also, because there's a possibility in these questions that a lot of statements look similar. B says humans became scientists when they realized that they were ignorant. Becoming scientists is not the only way to grow. So B is, of course, a very too, I would say, narrow a statement, to be deemed true. C says the realization that humans are ignorant led them to invent new things. Kind of true. Yeah, looks good. Which a lot of you have marked also. D says humans know more when they know. Humans know more when they know very little. Wow. That is, kind of playing with you, right? Humans know more when they know very little. Now, this thing is basically, a lot of you, Akshata marked D, right? Aarti marked D. This thing is basically, what kind of figure of speech is it? It is a paradox. It's a paradox, isn't it? It is a paradox. It looks good poetically. It sounds great when someone says that, to create impression, impact, to create some kind of verbal beauty. But in reality, this is not making any sense. I'll tell you why. Humans know more when they know very little. Isn't this a contradictory idea? See, if you know very little and you get to know this point, that doesn't mean that you know very little, isn't it? अगर तुम्हें मालूम पड़ गया, अगर तुम ये जानते हो कि तुम कुछ नहीं जानते, तो बात गलत नहीं हो गई? तुम कुछ जानते ही नहीं थे, तो ये कैसे जान पाए कि तुम नहीं जानते थे? Understood? Option D is not making any sense at all. Is that cool? Understood? Aarti and Akshata? Yeah, Varsha, of course. It says humans know more when they know very little. So if they get to know that they know very little, that doesn't mean they know little. That means that they know more. C is a better choice than D. Let's look at option A. That they do not know enough make humans seek to know more. So basically, option A, option C, and option E are the three choices. Whereas option A option A talks about human progress. When did they progress? Is it recent? What is happening? It's got a very general statement, so A can be eliminated. Coming to C, realization. So basically, it says they knew. They knew. Here it says the realization. The realization. Okay? When they realize that they're ignorant, let them invent new things. C looks better than A, so A can be eliminated. Now, C talks about invent new things. Invent. Now, invent is a word. Invent is a word which talks about creating something new, something physical, something, if not physical, it has to be something which has got an empirical nature, which can be verified. Is that right? While E says that they do not know enough, make that they do not know enough, make humans seek to know more. All right. यहाँ पे ये नहीं बोला गया डी जैसा नहीं है कि इनको मालूम था कि नहीं जानते. It says if you do not know more, will make humans seek to know more. Know more. It's not just inventing something more, because in 20th century, how many of us have invented something? We are just trying to understand things which have been invented by someone else. Not all of us going to invent. It's just that all of us can understand what has been invented. We know more. So option E, because it has the word know, and C has invent, so E will be a better choice than C. That's why option E is correct. All of you got it wrong. Is that cool? Looks good. Maza aaya? Interesting, isn't it? Let's go to next questions. This is an RC passage. About Mrs. Bhalla. No, I think this is decision-making question. Raj हो सकता है तो बोला मैंने C and E are very close. Okay, Raj. See, in this, two options are very close. If you marked C, that is the second best option. Invent जो word था, that word was very strong. That is why I had to look at the word which was not that strong, would be a general idea of the entire passage. Yes, Aditya. Done with the reading? Should I go to the questions now? Great. The first one. Okay, everyone is saying B, some people are saying A. Let us go to the other questions as well. Okay, last question. Raj, it's not RC, it's decision making. Okay, Raj. Chalo, let's see. I hope all of you have read the passage, right? Those who will be watching the recording afterwards, you can, of course, I gave enough time to read the passage, so I won't be reading it overall because that's not necessary. I'll just explain the questions. First question says, which of the following is most likely to get the affluent parents to accept the school's policy? All right. First one says, accept the suggestion of affluent parents to start a separate shift for the poor students. Ah, this is a kind of valid thing, isn't it? Because that is what some affluent parents were asking for, isn't it? It looks valid, but I put a question mark because when you say which are the following options, I have to read everything. B. Invite professionals to conduct workshop for the poorer children so that they can learn basic manners, habits, and language. A lot of you, someone said that this is one is a costly option, but looks good. Okay. C. Option B. Conducting a workshop. The problem is that the affluent people would now have another question, another problem. Then they would say that who are those professionals? We want to meet those professionals. What if they are not able to teach the basic ethics? If their parents have not been able to teach the basic ethics in the last 12 to 15 years, how would they teach it? It's practically impossible. So the affluent parents might be raising different concerns. Isn't it? Is that clear? So this is not going to be the most acceptable uh, option for the affluent parents. Is that cool? Moon, that's what they're asking affluent parents to accept. Okay. See, meet the two parent groups separately, understand their key concerns, and seek solutions for both from both. See, basically, they have met the parent groups separately, and both the parent groups have some kind of, you know, problems, some kind of complaints. So of course, this has happened, and this won't be doing any help further. Cool. D. Invite the founder of the school to clarify to parents and the school's policy. इससे क्या ही हो जाएगा? School का policy तो पता ही है. And affluent parents, they feel they're powerful. They won't be, they won't be giving, any heeds to it. E. Share the fact that the government instituted school ranking places 25% weightage to policies similar to the schools. ठीक है, ये भी हो सकता है. By the way, let us try to think logically like mature humans. Have you ever noticed that humans think that the things which have been statistically proven, or they believe in numbers, stats, and data, because that cannot be, kind of counter argued. The only option that has some kind of data is option E. Okay, and if this thing is correct, then automatically every parent would want their children, their students, their children to study from the best schools, the top-rated school, isn't it? That's what you are also looking for, top-rated B school, isn't it? So the fact will be shared. Just see, okay, I understand the problem, but the thing is, 25% weightage is given, to the ranking of the school. तो अमीर लोग क्या बोलेंगे? अच्छा ऐसी बात है, ठीक है ठीक है, let's do it. So option E will be a better choice, not option A. Is that clear? This option A will be not a great choice for school also. It will be having a lot of problems. Right mode. Clear? Now coming to next one. Well, Mrs. Bhalla understands the problems of overcrowded classrooms and classroom management. She foresees in them an opportunity to develop more sensitive, okay, and self-motivated learners. Mrs. Bhalla is considering the following actions. First, take the student and teacher councils on board and seek their ideas to redress the challenge the school faces. Looks good. It looks like, it should be there. Sensitive hoga. So one should be there, isn't it? 2, brainstorm with teachers and students on a strategy to engage all learners in teams for meaningful learning and healthy relationships. So teachers can actually go meaningful learning, and students can also have ideas what? Healthy relationships. 2 also looks good. Do we have anything here which has got 1 and 2 both? 1 to hoga. D is see, I'm eliminating. The best thing about these kind of questions is that you can eliminate because options are varied. 1 and 2 both should be there. So B gets eliminated. Now we have A, C, or E. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 5, 1, 2, 4. 3 says encourage students for self-learning and teachers into more supervisory roles to ensure discipline. Self-learning student कर ही लेते हैं अगर तो स्कूल की जरूरत क्या होती? Third is of course wrong. So A is eliminated, isn't it? Engage students in a process of periodic reflection. This is a kind of psychological thing, reflection, so that they can get in touch with their thoughts, feelings, and actions towards self and others. Self तो ये sensitive हो जाएगा बच्चा, बिल्कुल सही बात है. 4 looks correct. 5th is create achievement based student groups. Achievement based. यहाँ तो competition और बढ़ेगा. Probably again the same thing will happen, that rich will try to bully poor. So 5 will be not a better choice. It will be 4. We'll go with option E. Clear? Well, next one. Which will empower students the most? Ensure no kid from poor income group is detained. Maximize students' learning achievement. Help students learning to their real life experiences. Ensure rich kids to get to know those on whom their money is spent. Encourage students to ask questions that teacher find difficult to answer. This is going against teacher. This will be kind of indiscipline. This when rich kids will get to know where their money is spent. Now rich kids do not understand where the money is coming from. They're kids. They're not adults. D is totally irrelevant. No one is detained. This will empower the students the most. Students. It's not just poor students. So A is too narrow a choice. A will go away. Now B and C. Maximize students' learning achievement. Learning achievement. That means when you there are some programs through which you give them either cash, kind, motivation, inspiration, recognition, all those things are achievement, right? So would that empower the students? In a way, yes. Knowledge wise, yes. But this one, when they relate learning to real life experiences, this will make them more sensitive and also going to solve the challenges that are being posed in this passage. So in place of B, instead of B, C is a better and stronger choice. We'll go with C. Cool. Interesting, isn't it? So by now we have done our Siga poem, we have done decision making, we have done critical reasoning. How do you feel about that? It's interesting, isn't it? I don't want to, um, make you root for that more than cat right now. 24 तक तो cat पे ध्यान देना है. ये सारी चीजें जानना जरूरी थी so that you mentally become prepared, and kind of that ZAD is also a great choice, and the paper is so much fun, isn't it? This fun was missing in cat, yes or no? So next week, of course, I'll be starting the sessions, full-fledged sessions, right? And the last thing that you need to understand is how quant is being asked. Moon, not insanely difficult. It's new. It's new. Interesting, right? Okay, this is the first question. I think all of you will do it correctly. There's no problem in that. I know you. Chalo, I'll give you 1 minute to solve this. Akshara, yes. How many of you are not my students? Chakshika, I think I do not know you. Those who are, if you remember, we have a class, right? We have a class at, see Chakshika, I remember my student's name. We have a class at, today, that sequences series. Be ready for that. Okay, Mayank. Let's solve this question. Sakshika, great. All right, this is going to be the last question. Okay, Varsha, I'll just tell you after solving this question. Selling price. What is selling price? Um, what is selling price? It's cost price plus profit or cost price minus loss. That's what we know. It's also mark price minus discount. So if a discount of 2 by 3 x percent is given, so basically selling price in terms of mark price will be 100 minus 2x by 3 upon 100 times mark price. Is that right? Is that right? Yes, Arti. After this question, I'll do that. And it says profit is 4% of cost price. That means SP is also equal to 1.04 times CP. What is 4%? 0.04? We understand that part? Okay. And here it says the mark price is X% above the cost price. So MP is X% above, that is 100 plus X times upon 100 times CP. That is what we have. What can be done? What can be done? Of course, as you can see here, we have three equations and I can write the value of MP in terms of CP over here. So I'll get a relation between SP and CP, isn't it? And I already have a relation of SP CP here. Is that cool? So the moment I move it here, I'll get CP, SP. Let SP be S. S is equal to 100 minus 2x by 3 upon 100 times, let's write this whole, 100 plus x upon 100 times CP. Looks good? Yeah. Okay, Samrin. Now, if you look at these two equations, what is same here? The left-hand side is same here. Left-hand side is same. So, right-hand side should also be same. Isn't it? That should also be same. Is that cool? So, I'll have to equate the right-hand side of these two expressions. And what do I get now? Let's see. Is that clear? Tell me in the comments. Be quick. So, all I have is 1.04 times C is equal to, I can write that as simply, I can write it simply as 1 minus 2x by 300. This part, dividing by 100 on both sides, times 1 plus x by 100 whole times C. That is what we have. I'll erase everything else so that you don't get confused. This is what we have. Yes or no? All of you got this? Cool. And as you can see here, C and C will get cancelled and we'll get a quadratic equation in terms of x. And also known that the value of that x lies between 25 and 50%. That's what we know already. Isn't it? And that is going to help us a lot. By the way, okay, these two get cancelled out. Now there are two ways to do it. Either you can calculate it, the total completely in a mathematical way. Like if you expand this, you'll get 1 minus 2x. This gets cancelled 150 times. So you will get 1 minus x by 150. All right. Plus x by 100 minus x square by 150 into 100. Now this is what you get. You can solve it. I know all of you can solve it. But you know what? In XAT, there is a very good thing that we have the options. Isn't it? You can solve it, right? All of you know this much mathematics. But why do waste time? Why do waste few more seconds on this? Let's put in the values, guys, and get the answer. Would that look good? Of course, it will. And we can simplify it further. थोड़ा सा और simplify कर लेते हैं. Let's send 1 over there. So we'll have 0.04. Here, x by 100 minus x by 150. Is that good? We'll get here x by 300 minus x square by 150 into 100. You can even simplify it further if you want to, or maybe just put in the values of x and get the answer. Varsha, you haven't done mathematics? Huh. The way I'm solving it, there's of course an assumption, which means that like I'm assuming that you guys have prepared for CAT already. If you haven't, then okay, this mathematics will not be, you won't be able to understand because I have to give a lecture of 1 hour to tell you that why these things are working out. But it's not that difficult. Those who are prepared, they might be realizing it's easy. Yes or no? All right. Others got it? समरीन और वर्षा, ये बताओ तुम लोगों ने अभी तक कोई भी तैयारी नहीं की है क्या? The first time you'll write an exam, will that be that only? Is that a yes? Okay, Varsha. So I'll choose the option. Acha, tell me something. Which option should I choose? You know, यहाँ 300 है, यहाँ 150 है. The best option that I can choose is 15, isn't it? I'll choose that and put it here. Kanaya, no for what? Is that cool? Choose the option and get the answer. That is a great way to calculate things. Which one is satisfying? Tribhuvan, is it E? Is that so? Just check it out. All right. Kanaya, I know you. Somehow I have seen you. I know you. All right. Then, of course, in quant, we won't, P and I cannot discuss the entire thing. If you have prepared already, you know how to solve. This is an easy question, I must say. But before that was the actual mirror of that, which I wanted you guys to see. All right. So I hope that you have understood the agenda of this session, that why and how that was different than CAT. And having said that, we'll meet again for different kind of sessions, and let's enjoy it. Next week we'll be starting it. Okay, now coming back to the queries that people have, different queries, that what is the best material to start uh, for practicing the ZAT thing. The best material is solving the PYQs, previous year questions. That is the best way for last 4 to 5 years. Let's do that. Point number one. Coming to Chakshija's point that she has your first attempt, haven't given any B school exam before, proving yourself, getting nervous. It's a good thing. You have to be nervous because you're doing it for the very first time. But the first thing which you should be doing, how to start that prep, the first step in this is solve the previous year questions. That is step number one. The moment you do it, you'll be getting a fair idea about what all things are needed there. And you'll also tend to realize that which one is your strong areas, which one is a weak area. Probably, like when I was discussing everything, I saw that maximum participation was in poem and decision making, which seems, very kind of interesting. That is very interesting, isn't it? So you can actually plan that which questions are your favorite ones and work more on them. That is, the PYQs are important. And after that, step two is, of course, getting a mentor from somewhere. So because here there'll be classes, there will be doubt sessions, and then there will be practice sessions as well. So these two things must be done as soon as possible. But before that, let's go through PYQs. And when I meet you next, probably I'll be meeting you next week again. So I'll be asking you, and I remember the names, right? Don't forget them. That have you gone through it at least for 2 years? Once you do that, we'll talk again. All right. So let's go step by step. If I tell you all these steps, you'll get overwhelmed, but not able to do. This is the first step. Let's do that. And after that, I'll see you and I'll tell you more such stuff. Let me look at the queries. Aarti, PYQ kar lo, that is more than sufficient. Okay, and any book, all the books are good. See, it depends on how the solutions are given to you. But PYQs कर लोगी अगर पहले तुम तो उसी में ही you will get close to 1000 questions. Just do that. राज, जैट का कोर्स ज्वाइन करना ठीक है क्योंकि उससे बहुत कम क्लास होने वाली है. As I told you already, it will be, we'll be discussing only, we'll be having only 1-2 classes in the weekends before CAT. The moment CAT gets over, we'll have everyday classes. ठीक है, तो बेसिक्स तो शुरुआत में बताए जाएंगे. तो आई थिंक इट विल बी ग्रेट आइडिया, नॉट अ बैड आइडिया. ओके, Tribhuvan will be sharing the details. All right then. And also, in case want to connect to me or connect to my teammates, anyone, you can just go on the website and the support number. Raj, in case anyone who wants to talk more about these things, just call them, get the guidance. And if you want to connect to me, just tell them that I want to connect to. Do you know my name, all of you? Nobody knows my name here. My name is Abhishek Leela Pandey. Okay, so you can ask for that want to talk to him, and they will connect you to me, of course, when I am free to take calls. All right then, chalo. Take care. Bye bye. See you soon. Bye. Also, tell me how do you like the class? Thanks, Chakshika.
Hello, 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 hello.